In the parasha of this week, there's a verse that Torah says about the mitzvah of giving Chalah. And I'll read the first verses. This is in chapter 15, verse 19. And when Torah says, when you will come to the land of Israel, and you will want to eat the bread of the earth, so Torimo Truma Hashem, you have to raise an offering for God. Reishis Arisesechem, the first of your dough, Chalah Torimo Truma. Chalah, a loaf, should be given to the priest as an offering. And here we have the famous mitzvah of Chalah, that today we don't give it to the Kohen because we don't have the temple yet, and there's all kinds of laws related to how to eat the Chalah. But as all women know, that when you bake, you make dough, you take off a little piece, there's a special blessing to be said, lahafrish Chalah, and then you burn it. An extremely important and meaningful mitzvah, particularly given to the women. But originally the mitzvah is that everyone must give this offering to the Kohen. Here we find something very interesting. What the Midrash points out, that right after discussing this mitzvah, the Torah says, and this now in the same chapter, verse 22, if you're going to err and perform all those, or not do all the mitzvahs that you're supposed to do, the Torah speaks about bringing special sacrifices. And here Rashi explained that this refers to idol worshipping. In other words, if God forbid, one has served idols, then there's all kinds of sacrifices as an atonement. So the Midrash points out, is what is the connection? What's the flow? Giving Chalah, offering to the Kohen, and then the sin of idol worshipping. And says the Midrash, and indeed, that this comes to teach us that the one who fulfills the mitzvah of Chalah is considered as if he has actually abolished idolatry. But the one who does not fulfill the Chalah, the mitzvah of Chalah, is considered as if he has maintained idolatry. Now, this needs a little understanding. Why would giving or not giving Chalah be synonymous with idolatry? So the explanation as the Rebbe gives in the talk is as following. Idolatry is not just the worship of a deity other than one serving God. But this is also having the mistaken belief that any power, nature, functions independently of God. More than this, even the belief that any entity exists independently of God also runs contrary to our belief that ein oid milvado, there's nothing besides God. So therefore the Midrash explains, and it compares the observance of Chalah to the abolition of idolatry. The reason? Because planting of the grain, baking the dough, making the bread, this takes a lot of effort of the human person, a lot of involvement, a lot of skill. So our bread dough, represents our effort to provide for our needs through what seems to be a natural process, in which our return seems directly influenced and controlled by what we do, by our effort, our ingenuity. However, when the first thing we do with our dough is to separate a portion as a gift to God, then we are acknowledging that all our human efforts don't even begin to generate our income. Rather, it all depends on the Birkat Hashem, on the blessing of God. He is the reason for our success. Moreover, the separation of Chalah as a gift to God acknowledges that since God brings the entire world into existence anew every moment, as we say in the morning services, creation is an ongoing process. That we understand and we recognize that all of existence truly belongs to Him. And therefore, really, we're giving to God the Truma, the offering, something that belongs to him. And therefore, by separating Chalah, we abolish the mistaken theory of idolatry by declaring to the world that neither the powers of nature nor the efforts of man exists apart from God himself. And my friends, I don't think that anybody can even think today, after what we have been experiencing for the last 3 months, that man has any power except for what God gives him. A tiny, invisible virus has transformed the entire world. But that transformation is one that brings to the positive recognition of indeed, all is godly. And as such, we will see the fulfillment of it with the coming of Mashiach, which will happen right now.